this was something I thought that I would not be making a video about. So, right here we have a X570 board from Asus. It's the Pro 4, which these things are honestly very nice boards. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's slightly better than my main board I have in my system, which is a B550. What I got here is a lot of parts I got from the trash, excluding this GT210, which, even though it looks in tough shape, I know this card works perfectly fine, so I just use this as a test card. So, yeah, this is fine. But along with also that entire stash that I found, there was also a full water cooler, and also a CPU and 16 gigabytes of memory. The CPU being a 3700X. Now, of course, this was a 3000 series Ryzen 7. Not bad at all. However, the RAM and CPU I cannot really show right now because it's on its own test bench right now, and it's been running stable. With my, well, used to be, main graphics card, I upgraded from a 6060 to a 9060 XT like a few weeks ago, so that card has been treating me way much well. And this card right here has been my test card. So now, what I'm going to be doing is I want to see if this board works. That's my main goal, my main purpose for today's video. Now, of course, I was planning to make another video earlier in this week, but not earlier this week, but earlier this year, but it kind of fell through. It was kind of boring, uninteresting. And it involved these laptops that I talked about before. It just seemed boring, and I just like, eh. So I ended up just reusing one of the parts that I used on the test bench that I used, so yeah. That means I have to shut down my test bench so I can get this thing ready. As you might be able to see, I've added a few extra things to the desk. I also added a mat under the motherboard because safety. I want to start this off by prepping the board for a boot test. So no fancy parts just yet, just very basic, very run-of-the-mill parts. So we're going to drop the CPU in real quickly. Alright, CPU secured. Now, memory. Again, nothing fancy just yet. 4 gigabytes of very basic DDR4. You know, just enough to test the waters, but not enough to get into trouble, you know? So there we go, 1 stick of RAM. And to top it all off, the GT210. All reliable. Okay, it's sliding in. Okay, so this thing, its fan died, and it's going to be a little bit loud on camera, but now shit is about to get real very soon. I get it. Where's the, the CPU cooler? You don't need it if you're going to be doing a very quick run. I don't know where debug LEDs are at on this board. Oh, it's right here. CPU, DRAM, VGA, and boot. I need to grab something for me to look at. Okay, there you go. Clip. Route the cable. Make cable to over here. And what do you mean DRAM and CPU? Probably it's memory training? Oh, it's getting warmer now. Okay, now it's getting unbearably warm. I'm gonna turn it off. Alright, so I'm at least going to put this on the board, so and I think the board is just boot looping. Yeah, the board is just boot looping. I need to search up CPU DRAM being lit up at the same time. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Okay, I have to reseat the memory. You see, I am not used to these type of motherboards. And there is a possibility I did not seat that shit in correctly. And with the way I was manhandling it, I wouldn't be surprised. There you go. Firmly sat in. No pins exposed. Try this again. I'm turning it off. It's starting to get really warm. I don't want to fry the CPU. Okay, so it's time to put that cooler on. Let the power on. Oh, the board works.
Dr. Pepper.
Alright, so welcome to the login screen on the system, and I'm just glad to show off that this all works. And yes, it's running Linux. Specifically, it's running Arch Linux, which, Reddit echo chamber bullshit aside, it works perfectly fine. I know there's a lot of people that have strong opinions about Windows and very strong opinions about Linux, to the point that they participate in echo chambers, to the point that no actual opinions get, well, questioned or challenged. And that's why I prefer places like r/Linux sucks, because you actually get people that want to conversate about Linux and not just basically say, haha, one thing sucks. Anyways, as you might see over here, 3 gigabytes are being used right now, and that's because of Open Firefox. This system right here, I've been using it for the past few weeks, not weeks, about a month or so, and I've been so far enjoying it. Like, the only main complaint I have about this system is that there's one error I cannot fix, and I'm just going to show you that right now if it's still in the downloads folder. Alright, I still think it's in the downloads folder. For the people that are in the know about this, you already know what's happening here. There is a microcode bug within the 3000 series Ryzen CPUs that basically says the onboard randomizer for like random number generation and shit like that does not work properly. This is usually fixed by a BIOS update, so it could basically say fuck it, work around. However, the board I'm using, as you might have saw in the previous one, doesn't have the exact name as the other ones. This is because it has a custom BIOS put on by Micrositter's built in-house, pre-built gaming computers, which kind of sucks because I really don't want to try to like update to a normal BIOS because I don't know what actually will happen if I do so. I don't want to risk breaking the motherboard and having to do a actual reflash with a flasher because to be fair, I'm still kind of scared about doing that, but so, this system right here, from all the things I've done with it, is very usable, all things considered, right? Like, I was able to play a grand majority of my library, no issue. All I had to do was enable Proton, and depending on which side you sit on about this, is either that you'd be celebrating or absolutely mad because I am not bashing shit on Linux. The thing is, I just like Linux. It just works. Depending on how you use your operating system, it's going to be fine. Like how you cannot treat an automatic like a manual. The issues that you encounter within Windows, right, is going to be way different than ones you encounter in Linux. This is because of the design of the operating system itself. However, all that aside, I think you want to see how this performs. Alright, so what about something that's definitely going to stress out more? BMG Drive. Now let's play a game that is a little bit more intensive to get this thing up and running. Yeah, around the 80s, you know, very acceptable frame rates, all things considered. Now what about... No. I forgot my keybinds because these are not the keybinds I'm used to. There we go. And I'm just going to hit free roam actions. Traffic. Now let's just spawn in traffic. Now see how many vehicles it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a lot of parked cars. A lot of vehicles. The game is running pretty smooth still. I'm playing on keyboard, so maybe choosing the ball line was not a good idea. Maybe I should have released a Steam controller review for this, but hey. So, is this system worth it for me? Definitely, it is worth it. Because instead of me dragging along my main, I now just have a computer that, realistically speaking, after I close out, if I were to check HTOP right now, only about a gigabyte of RAM usage, all things considered, which is perfectly fine. Like, I get very low idles, and then due to those very low idles, I get to open up a lot of applications without taking up much memory. Matter of fact, I worked on a portion of this video on this machine while I was not even in the state. If you see it in the trash, at least give it a chance. Because even if it's not like, oh, it's a Ryzen 7, at least in the 5000 series, it can still perform very fucking well. Because nearly everything in this computer except the GPU was either free or found in the trash. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I personally had way more in plan for it, but it kind of fell through. But hey, even if I didn't record it, I am very happy with how it gone through. Now, I'll be seeing all you later, and have a great rest of your day, night, or whatever, because I have some things to do.